Whoa. Welcome to the Treasure Tree Therapy Planters podcast. I'm your host, Master Cheeze. You're in for a good one today. We're going to start with some injuries going on throughout the league. Always going to start with some injuries, major news and injuries. The key word today is Achilles. Then we're going to transition over to prime time. Yes? And then lastly, we'll end with the Chicago Bears. With a sprinkle, a little dash of NBA, we're going to focus on Devin Booker's calf injury, prognosis going through the season, and how the Suns might be in trouble. You're in for a good one. Stay tuned. Bloop. Welcome back to the Treasure Tree Therapy Planets podcast. Again, I'm your host, Master Cheeze. We're going to talk about a lot of injuries, specifically those involving the Achilles tendon. Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins had successful surgery last week where he repaired his Achilles. Now, he'll be out for the rest of the season. There'll be needed updates as we look forward in the future if he'll come back for another season. Most likely, he will not be returning with the Minnesota Vikings, so he'll have to explore his other options. I believe maybe down the line, the Oakland Raiders might be a good fit for him, or some leadership in the locker room with the Carolina Panthers, as they have a hard time struggling with a rookie quarterback. So, Kirk Cousins, speedy recovery. We're going to transition to Aaron Rodgers is playing mind games with us all and letting us know he'll be back in a few weeks. Now, he kind of went back on a statement and said most likely he'll be back towards the December months, mid-December, to come back possibly about 6 weeks or so. So look out for him. He did experience a speed bridge surgery that will soon probably be popular, seeing as the recovery is a lot faster. Now looking at Aaron Rodgers, it's a lot of excitement for him coming back, but ain't no way my man's is coming back this week. There's no way he's coming back. There's no way he's coming back this year playing the football that we expected him to play. It's just very tough when the weather changes. It gets cold. If you understand what the cold temperature does to tendons, it's not very good. For a tendon that's freshly repaired to get out there at the peak of the season playing, it's just tough. I think it's just all talk, and I don't really see Aaron Rodgers being effective this year. Now, if he comes back and play, it might just be for him to get his mental reps and get his footwork good and game experience in preparation for next year. So Aaron Rodgers is playing games with us, but like I said in the past, he needs neurological interventions to help take care of that tendon because easy come, easy go. Like I mentioned in the very first podcast on Aaron Rodgers, easy come, easy go. So we'll see if he's able to play a healthy season with something that's been able to heal pretty rapidly. So look out for Aaron Rodgers in the coming weeks. Maybe he might play this year or maybe not, but he is very motivated to come back and play. And so we'll look out for him recovering from that Achilles injury. Next, Justin Jefferson should be coming off of injured reserve on Wednesday, which is today. So that's exciting news for Minnesota Vikings, who are on a 4-game win streak, I believe. So you'll get your star player coming back in the coming weeks. So maybe you'll get your star player coming back in the coming weeks. Looks like the Vikings have something to fight for this year. So looking to see how he bounced back from the hamstring injury. Hopefully no further setbacks. It'd be exciting to see Justin Jefferson play, as he's one of the most explosive players in the league. And the last person we'll look at is Cam Akers. Cam Akers just reported to have torn his Achilles this year. Another blow for the Minnesota Vikings. He tore his left Achilles. Interesting enough, as we touch on the topic of Achilles, Cam Akers from the Minnesota Vikings, he tore his right Achilles in 2021. Similar to Aaron Rodgers, he got the speed bridge. He had a speedy recovery coming back. He looked pretty good, not quite as explosive, but it's kind of damaging once you see another Achilles injury after another Achilles injury. To understand how ruptures work, they're not easy to do. To tear a tendon off the bone is not easy to do. your body lets you know that you're having some pain, some issues, and you kind of push through. Again, the NFL's made for you to push through. But in pushing through, injuries majority of the time occur. Now, from my experience as a practitioner dealing with athletes recovering from Achilles injuries, once you have the right Achilles injury occur, the left one kind of compensates and tries to make up for it. So the opposite side, if you get it repaired, it's a stronger one now. So it's going to pick up majority of the load. Even though you might come back feeling stronger, neurologically, when you went through that injury phase, the strong Achilles knew it had to take over. It had to get you through those times where you had immobile foot. You couldn't go up and down stairs, had to get out of cars. You just tend to lean on the stronger side. So having these issues mount up as professionals, it's a telling issue that's going on throughout the league. For someone at that age to tear his Achilles in the opposite foot, it's showing me that there are missing pieces to his rehabilitation. And like I say every week to those who are being injured, it's something that I specialize in. I've been specializing in for quite some time. I've been a decade as a practitioner, a therapist, and specializing in neurological interventions. These athletes who are recovering from these injuries need to have someone investigate and look at their rehab protocols. Because if you have someone that has fresh eyes with the experience, you can minimize these injuries and continue to play longer than you would not having someone kind of keep their eyes on that. So just interesting point I want people to understand. The nervous system remembers everything. So your Achilles goes out, your body tries to compensate the best it can, and eventually another tendon will go. And he's very young, so he'll have to battle back, and hopefully his rehab will be even better than it was in the previous year. So good luck to Cam Akers coming off another Achilles injury, and we'll move forward. This is a Treasure Tree Therapy sidebar. Now, as we dive deeper into the Achilles injury, the Achilles is such a sensitive and intricate part of the body. The foot are the foundation for everything that you do. Walking, running, jumping occurs with the feet. Now, when the Achilles starts to bother you, its job is to be able to withhold or sustain tension throughout the calf. When the calf starts to degrade and starts to get weak on one side, the other foot has to compensate for it. That's neurologically and tissue-wise. When these injuries have happened to someone's Achilles, they believe often that just strengthening it will just do the trick. But your body is limited when it's trying to recover. Your body has a gait pattern that is initiated with your foot. When one foot does one thing, the other foot's supposed to do the opposite. When injury occurs, that neurologically is disrupted and it needs to be restored. It's being overlooked a lot with these injuries that occur from sprained ankles or trauma to the knees. So it's something that I want people to be more aware of. You have some Achilles injuries going on, you have some Achilles tenderness going on, you might want to seek some medical attention because most likely, more likely than not, the opposite foot is going to compensate for it. And it needs to be addressed some way, somehow, if you plan on running marathons or playing basketball. So this is a Treasure Tree Therapy sidebar. So from the injuries to the, hold on, best time. 1 second, y'all. Prime time. Yes, prime time had another tough opponent this week. Played up against Oregon State, did not get the dub, ended up with another loss. Right now, Colorado is on a losing streak, and their bowl eligibility hopes are in the air. It's a toss-up. Now, they went down, they fought hard game, came down a little bit to the wire, closer than it really was, but Colorado has to figure some things out. Offense is sputtering and having a tough time putting up points early in games where you're trying to ask for heroic play from Shedeur Sanders. Now, looking at Shedor's stats, again, he is a NFL quarterback, and he needs to be viewed as such. When he played up against Oregon State, he went 24 for 39, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, and was sacked 4 times. Not as bad as the previous weeks where he was sacked 6 and 7 times, but he's still being put on the ground and he's still trying to produce touchdowns. Now, the team collectively still has to figure out their identity and figure out if bowl eligibility is something that they can muster up this year. I believe that's what the team should be judged off of this year. Although they were not a very good team last year, and to have a turnaround that quickly is something of it's a historical feat. I believe they should be challenged more to be bowl eligible. Now they play Arizona State. Sorry, they play Arizona. They ranked 21st in the nation. They play Arizona, and I believe it's a must win. You're going on a losing streak, and it's very hard to keep a locker room when you're losing a lot of games. From the excitement that Colorado presented to the nation in the very beginning of the season, it's starting to fade like the leaves on the tree behind me. Yes, it's starting to fade. So that is something that the Colorado Buffaloes have to figure out. They have to just figure out how to get a win. Strategy is important at the collegiate level, and Adore Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback. You need a well-rounded approach from the defense and your running backs. So Primetime Sanders has his hands full as he has 3 more games, and he needs to win at least 2 of those games to become bowl eligible. That is what he's battling right now. He's battling the ability to become bowl eligible, and that success will help him for next year as he looks to become more of a contender in the NCAA playoffs. So, Primetime Sanders, you got work to do, and you got to clean it up. But good luck in the next 3 weeks. So, as we transition from prime time, we gonna move over. We're gonna get a little close. Y'all gotta get close. Come on, get nice and close. Get nice and close. The Chicago Bears. Ugh. Yuck. 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 Another loss by the Bears this weekend. Went up against the New Orleans Saints, a pretty good team, similar to the Chargers. Throw you different looks. They have a pretty good offense. You got to come to play. But Tyson, Bagel, played poor. Played okay, but he played poor. Now, he played okay as a rookie, but he played poor as an NFL quarterback. Now, looking at his stats, he went 18 for 30, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. Just cannot win games with your quarterback turning the ball over. Now, I know he has grace where he's the rookie quarterback, but these turnovers are costing the Bears opportunities to win games. Now, late in stretches, I believe that the coaching staff has to understand that this guy is not he's not NFL ready to win games on his own. He needs more gadget plays to come down to the wire. Now, in the Bears losing, they have currently 2 wins on the season. They have the Carolina Panthers coming up tomorrow, Thursday, which is a game they should be able to win with Tyson at the quarterback position. Now, Justin Fields is still doubtful with the thumb injury, and I don't know if he's really doubtful or if he's trying to make sure that people understand that this is his team. But he's floating on territory where he could soon be pushed to the side or traded. Now, I'm a fan of Justin Fields. I believe his stature is what makes us a difference maker, and his ability to run as a mobile quarterback is really important. But we also need a quarterback with heart. Now, having a thumb injury, I don't really know his pain tolerance, but at the quarterback position, you need a guy with some guts, and hopefully Justin Fields can show us that in the coming weeks. Now, we play up against the Carolina Panthers this week. We play the Carolina Panthers this Thursday, which should be an easy win. Now, if we lose that game, the season's all but done. It's pretty much done at that point. But we get the victory against them. We have the Lions coming up. Now, it'll be our first time playing the Lions, which is pretty good for us. We go in with a better defense. Defense is playing better. They played pretty good against the Saints. Just didn't have enough from the offense with a lot of turnovers. They play up against the Lions, and you get that victory. And unfortunately for Justin Fields, if he does not come back and get that victory against the Lions, and Tyson does, there will be a quarterback controversy. Tyson is a rookie quarterback, and he's getting a lot of first-team reps, and he's getting his experience out the way. These are acceptable mistakes for him. But if he can muster up a way to get a win against the Carolina Panthers and against the Lions, the division's in trouble and the Bears are going to make some noise because down the stretch, we still don't have a lot of great teams to play, and we still have playoff hopes for the wild card. That's something that is scary because I know majority of the fans aren't sure if they want Justin Fields to be the quarterback. So as we look and progress towards that, Tyson had some good throws. He had some good plays. You know, he lit them up in the first half, but down the stretch when the game's on the line, nerves and IQ kind of just faltered. So Tyson, you're making progress, but again, he is not the Bears quarterback at the moment. This will be a great game for him against the Panthers, where he'll pretty much have practice out there with good play calling. The ball gets out quick, ball gets out tight. He has a nice sidearm where he can do his checkdowns. But just watching this quarterback develop is going to be an issue again for the Bears as they strategize if they want to keep him as the quarterback, Justin Fields as the quarterback, or if we go out to Caleb Williams. Now, for those who want Caleb Williams, I'm just going to leave this for you all. And yes, we're going to progress. All right. Now, as we transition from that, we're going to transition to a little bit of NBA. Now, we're going to look at Phoenix Suns guard Devin Booker. Devin Booker is one of the best shooting guards in the league. Shoots high percentage from the three-point line, and him and the Phoenix Suns have optimism of winning an NBA championship this year. The problem with that is that they are already hurt. Yes, they are already hurt. Devin Booker went down with a sprained ankle, and now it's transitioned to a calf injury. I'm watching these compensations progress. This is only the beginning of the season, and I believe the Phoenix Suns are going to have a hard time trying to figure out how to keep Devin Booker healthy, especially with the workload he has to put on. You look at that roster, the roster is front-loaded with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and I'm not even sure if Bill will be coming back anytime soon, but he's been out with a back injury. So these players aren't really healthy, and we're expecting them to win 16 games at the toughest part of the season. It's not something I can see happening, but that's something that I believe needs to be addressed with the neurological system. The calf transitions, a lot of injuries stem from a sprained ankle. Trauma, very common in sports at the high school level to sprain your ankle. But neurologically and tissue damage occurs where you limit your ability to do certain movements, but you carry on. Devin Booker transitioning from a sprained ankle to a calf injury is something that's alarming for the Phoenix Suns, and I believe it's something that to be monitored.
He's trying to get back as quickly as possible, but he's dealt with the toe first and then an ankle, and now a calf strain.
So neurological interventions are very important for athletes as they continue to progress and get older. That way they can sustain longevity in the NBA and professional sports. So I like to keep these podcasts nice and short. Again, if you want more information of the rehab that takes place, you can check us out at TreasureTreeTherapy.com, Instagram as well. A couple videos will be posted in the upcoming weeks. And look out for our Treasure Tree Trail Mix. We're doing a holiday special. We'll look out for that on the next week's podcast. But until then, Treasure Tree Therapy, planting seeds today for future generation success.